Elder Smith here. Now, today I would like to continue where we left off in Genesis, and we're now in chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in to a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her, and she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name and she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan, and she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah, and he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife from his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brethren, unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. But it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. And for he said, Lest peradventure he die also, and his brethren did, that he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up unto the sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hira the Adullamite, and it was told to Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which he by the way to Timnath, for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given to him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, and he found her not. And he asked the men of the place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. Also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed, or lest that we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are am I with child? And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and the bracelet and the staff? And Judah acknowledged them, and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son, and he knew her again no more. And it came to pass, in the time of her travail, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put forth his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon it a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, he withdrew back his hand, and behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Now this is happening in Canaan right now with the other 11 brothers, while Joseph is not a prisoner, but is sold to Potiphar, an officer under Pharaoh in Egypt. But right now, before we get back to Joseph, this scripture wants us to focus on what's happening here in the land of Canaan. And this shows a bunch of things that are happening in terms of drama and struggling, and how even Judah himself had faults of his own, going through struggles. But as they are getting older and as time is progressing, they are acknowledging their wrongdoings. They're starting to become more aware, as he acknowledged that his daughter-in-law, despite the fact that she had played the harlot, was more righteous than him at this current point in time. He was going to put her to death, give her the death penalty for what she did. But once he realized that he was at fault, he acknowledged it. This shows that while time is passing with Joseph in Egypt, the brothers, specifically Judah, also is growing, is developing. He's becoming, while through his mistakes, through his sins, he is gaining wisdom and acknowledgement of his wrongdoings. Now I could be wrong, but the Judah that was there at the time when they sold Joseph to the people that brought him into Egypt, the Judah then would not have done that. So we're seeing a change. We're seeing a growth happen on this side of the story. Now, in the next Wednesday, we shall get back to Joseph and see what things are happening during this change. So it'll backtrack. The Bible does a lot of backtracking where it'll pick up where we left off again, but this time from Joseph's side, from his perspective, from his point of view. So this is the video for today. Remember to study, to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word, put on the whole armor of God, and fight the good fight.